are some foregone conclusions that actually end up being that, and that's exactly what happened at the MCG between India and Zimbabwe. The number of runs on the board were just far too many. The swing up front was just far too prodigious, and Zimbabwe couldn't deal with that. 115 all out. A bit of a burst from Ryan Burl, 35 of 22, and Sikandar Raza, who's been good throughout, with 34 of 24, but there was just too much in that Indian bowling lineup. The quicker bowlers, and then Ravichandran Ashwin with 3 for 22 towards the end, getting a good bit of a workout there along with Akshar Patel. So good from Rohit Sharma to make sure everyone gets shot with the ball leading up to the semi-finals. Now we have the semi-final lineups finally set in stone. We virtually knew what it was, but we can 100% confirm it. Semi-final number 1 is going to be New Zealand taking on Pakistan at the Sydney Cricket Ground on Wednesday. And 24 hours later on Thursday, it's going to be India versus England at the Adelaide Oval. And the winners clash on Sunday the 13th at the Melbourne Cricket Ground in the grand finale. Here on Cricbuzz Live to look back at India's final victory, the campaign and the Super 12 stage in general, joined by Zaheer Khan and Joy Bhattacharjya. As I said, foregone conclusion, Joy. That's what it was in terms of this match.
Absolutely. And once they got 185, you were really looking at it. After that, Surya Kumar Yadav's last burst in the beginning when India lost 2-3 wickets, and you said, okay, 145, 150. It would still be a long, long ask for Zimbabwe. But under the circumstances, once they reached 185, the kind of bowling attack India has, it looked really difficult.
And what Rohit did well was make sure that all the bowlers got an outing. When you saw a bit of movement, and you would be tempted to say that, listen, let's just steamroll them and go back to Shami, let Bhuvi finish his spell. But he said, no, toss the ball to Ashwin and Akshar from both ends. Let them have a go at trying to get the wickets.
Yeah, that's what you're expecting. You know, once you know that you are in a very, very comfortable situation, especially that spell up front from Bhuvneshwar. Ashdeep was too good, getting the ball right up there, both in swing, out swings. You know, it was a good display of swing bowling after a long time. You know, you see when there is swing on offer, what a bowler can do. Getting everyone into the scheme of things, game time. You know, we often speak about just about when it's going to matter a lot. You know, you want everyone to be having spent enough time in the middle. So that's a good thought. So even in 17 overs, he's managed to give everyone a go. You look at the bowling chord, everyone have chipped in with their contributions. Ashwin taking 3 wickets, Akshar also finally getting that wicket, Hardik getting those couple of wickets. Shami bowled very well. So I think all in all, you know, this is how the pattern has been for Rohit to use his resources. He's been using Bhuvneshwar 3 overs up front, using Shami to hit the deck hard and control in that middle phase. So this is what you'll see in the semi-finals as well. It's just about now everything coming together when it matters the most.
And probably the quietest, most soft-spoken member of the Indian side, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, tends to let the ball do the talking. But even with that, he sort of slipped under the radar, because we're talking about Arshdeep's flamboyance and Shami hitting the ball hard and missing out Jasprit Bumrah. But you don't often talk about him until he starts performing.
Absolutely. And look, this 5.53, 5.79, 3.66, there are 2 things to it. One is, you know, Pakistan, South Africa, teams like that, he's going under 6. That's incredible. The only time he went was when, you know, Litton went after him early up, and there was because the ball was wet, there was very little on offer. But one other thing, if you go back to his stats, look at the number of dot balls he bowls. He bowls an amazing number of dot balls, because what he does up front is he doesn't give the batsman width at all. He's playing them in that area. He's got the ability to swing the ball both ways. So they don't know. So every time they have to score runs against him, they have to take risks. And he gets wickets. So I think he's incredibly important for India up front. And he and Arshdeep make a fantastic combination. In fact, sometimes you see Arshdeep swinging it too much, because he just is. I mean, I think Bhuvneshwar also has the ability to swing the ball that much, but just controls it. And that's the thing, that these two, in conditions like this, slightly overcast today, they were well nigh unplayable.
And that's what happened at the beginning of the innings. It's a different matter that India had a cushion of runs. But had it been a 130 type total for whatever reason, you still knew that the opposition was going to be in trouble once you got that kind of start.
Well, the intent has to be there. You know, the intent of taking wicket as a bowler is very, very important. that really sets the tone. So come the big day, you would want to see both these bowlers approach the game in that fashion. You got to be able to stick to your strengths. Your strength is to swing the ball, both the bowlers, Arshdeep and Bhuvneshwar. So you got to be looking to do that, and in the process, then you're giving yourself the best chance. Yes, there will be times when batters will look to come at you if there is no swing on offer. Then you fall back to your plan B. But even though in Adelaide, the side boundaries are going to be shorter. So you still have to have that intent of getting the ball up, giving yourself the best chance of swinging the ball. Even if batsman is swinging hard or the batsman is coming at you, you still got to be able to think wickets, because it takes one ball to take the wicket. And if you take the wicket, you're always in the game. You've seen what kind of impact you can have on the game if you are taking wickets. I think for both the bowlers, they should think wickets, be aggressive, be positive in the mindset.
Probably one slight change between Melbourne and Adelaide is the amount of swing that the bowlers are likely to get with the new ball, but both Bhuvi and Arshdeep will need to adapt to that.
They need to adapt to that, and I think they're fantastic bowlers. They're fantastic bowlers in these conditions. Swing is their asset, and their ability to be able to control their swing is fantastic. And what's happening is exactly, you have a guy who hits the deck like Shami, who comes on after that. You have somebody who uses the short ball very well, like Hardik Pandya, who comes on after that. So you have an attack which is pretty decent under these conditions as well. The danger always is, and I think what Zach is referring to, is that what happened with Leighton, where you start getting hit up front. I think the larger problem there was also because the wetness of the ball, they couldn't really get anything out of it. But because otherwise these are such skilled bowlers, under any conditions they will give you a certain amount of variations. And but I think that is the thing. If it's a dry ground, these players will give you quality seam bowling up front.
One is Bhuvi, of course. There's another reason why we are, of course, everyone misses Jasprit Bumrah being in that lineup, but the fact that he's not being talked about every game, that, oh, hole to fill, is also because of the presence of Arshdeep Singh opening the bowling from one end. 10 wickets in 5 games, along with Sam Curran. He's really led the way for the left-arm seamers club in that sense. So Arshdeep as well will be a great asset going forward. At the moment, not looking too far ahead, just the next 2 games.
Yes, he's at a terrific tournament, and he's growing in confidence. You could see he's getting that confidence of pitching the ball up. What is really going to matter from both these bowlers is that come the big day, and when the pressure is on, under pressure, you should be able to back yourself. I think that's something which, as a team management, as captain, you need to just boost his confidence to be able to do that. He's going to be playing at such a big stage in the World Cup semi-finals. It's a big stage for him. So you got to be able to back that bowler and let him carry that confidence forward, especially if the things are getting tougher, which it will be. I think semi-finals is not going to be an easy game. You got to be able to prepare each and every individual in that camp to be able to live up to the expectations and not getting bogged down by the pressure of the big occasion.
Yeah, Bhuvi is the wily old fox, but with Arshdeep, he seems to have grown into this sense of calmness, responsibility, and he looks prepared for that sort of occasion. I mean, today was 82,500. It may not be that many in number, but as Zaheer said, the occasion will be even bigger.
No, even bigger. Look, he's calm as an individual. Like even Shami, even 10 years back, he was not an excitable bowler. Even then, he had his head about his shoulders. Even Arshdeep is a very old head and young shoulders. So he has a calmness. I think what is though going to happen is, you today had Zimbabwe batsmen who were rooted to the crease, who were playing the ball for its merit. When the English players see a pitch, when a situation like that, they will try and do everything. They may take a step out to negate the swing. They may, charge at you. They may. So what Zach is saying is that they bowled really well under these circumstances. They have the skill. But what England will try and do is put them off their game, try and step forward, try and do various things, move around the crease to upset that rhythm. And that is the time it's important for them to just say, I'll bowl my ball, let him move here, let him move there, let him move forward. I'm going to do what I need to do. And I think those are the kind of things that are going to become important when Adelaide is, when the semi-final is going to be played. Because right now, there's no question about their skill anymore. Their skill is established. These are fantastic bowlers. They bowl really well. They have the abilities. Now it's all about withstanding the pressure, because the other team is going to put pressure on you. And England is that kind of a team who's going to try and do tactics against you.
Yeah, seems to be so many boxes ticked. We've got the bowling department. The spinners have had an outing out there. The batsmen have been in tune. It's just unfortunate that for Rishabh Pant, It was just a situation he came into where he had to get going. But there's still a feeling that he was brought in here to be part of that semi-final lineup.
Well, that is going to be interesting one. Now you've seen DK when he's come onto the field as a substitute. That time you're wondering that what kind of mindset he will be in. Is he going to be playing? If he's playing, how he's going to be looking at that game? What kind of mindset Rishabh Pant will also be in? That's the only debate and discussion which Indian team will be having. That who is that finisher for you? Is that Rishabh Pant or Dinesh Karthik? That's going to be the crucial decision in front of the Indian think tank for sure before the big game. Rishabh has just played one game right now in this World Cup. It will be very tough on him as well if you decide to leave him out. It'll be tough on DK as well to be kind of thinking now, am I going to be there? Am I not going to be there? That communication and how you get the best out of those two players is going to be very important come the big day.
Yeah, communication would be the key. Only 11 can make it into the team, but everyone is part of that cricketing family who are travelling with the Indian team. Your sole objective is to be on the victorious side come November the 13th. But one more little box that was not quite ticked. It was empty when it came to about 3 matches ago, and that was KL Rahul. People were wondering where that run would come from. It took 1-6 to get his innings started. Then came the half century, and now back-to-back half centuries, first against Bangladesh, now against Zimbabwe. Of course, there'll be a slightly different kind of attack that he's going to face vis-a-vis these games when he comes up against Mark Wood and company.
Yeah, but look, I think KL Rahul doesn't have a problem about, he's too classy a batsman to have a problem with pace. He's not had a problem with pace ever in his life. I think his thing is he's just not got going. He's played a lot of dot balls, so got himself into trouble. I think now that, when you see Rahul hit those pickup shots over the leg side, you know that he's there. He's there now. Now it's just a matter of, picking the right balls and doing it. And I think mentally he's there. You have 250s under your belt going into a semi-final. It doesn't matter what opposition you've got them against. Because see, class is not the problem with Rahul. Right now the problem with Rahul is just confidence. And now with 250s, he's got that confidence as well.
Again, the timing couldn't be better. Towards the back end of it, just when the question marks were being raised, and you come up with back-to-back 50s, it just eases the feeling in the entire camp.
Well, he's a quality batter, so that's something which is going to be very vital for Indian team if he's in good touch. And with KL Rahul, you've seen, once he's amongst the runs, he's in different kind of a zone. He carries himself well. He can extend that run. So from the Indian team's point of view, that will give liberty to Rohit also to go hard at other bowlers. So that is something which is going to be very important. It's all about partnerships, isn't it? And the start we often speak about with the ball, with the bat. You don't know what you will be doing with the batting first or bowling first. So if you are batting first and these two are in, and KL being in form is going to give that freedom to Rohit also to take the charge, which he's been consciously making that effort of leading from the front, looking to take the bowlers on. You've seen it in all the games. Even today, he was the one who was the aggressor. So KL Rahul being amongst the runs is going to release that pressure of Rohit as well. Is going to give him that freedom as well to go out there and look to take charge and take charge against the bowlers.
Well, a quick look at the group, because other than those who qualified for the semi-finals, it was also a matter of looking ahead, looking at the next edition of the T20 World Cup, and obviously the top 4 teams from both groups, plus a few scenarios in terms of world rankings, will come into the picture of who qualifies automatically. Well, Netherlands for sure, after having beaten South Africa, and then what happened between Pakistan and Bangladesh, now means that they, being in the top 4, will qualify automatically for the next edition of the T20 World Cup. So that's good news for the Dutch. It was hard fought, but they get in there. Teams at the bottom, well, they either don't, or they have to go through the qualification procedure unless ranking precedes that. But we'll leave that for the moment. Just a word on the Netherlands. Well, it's been quite a hectic Super 12 stage, and we thought, as part of looking back at the entire tournament, started with the, of course, Australia, New Zealand, and then went on to India, Pakistan, 2 huge clashes to start the tournament. We've had some individual innings, we've had some performers who have been consistent throughout, but let's get our panel to give their thoughts on various aspects of the game in a little rapid fire that we've got here. So let's start with the best knock of the tournament.
I'm sorry, it's recency bias. Surya, this knock, I've seen many great knocks, I've not seen something like this. Surya's knock against Zimbabwe was outstanding.
I think Virat has to be there. There was Glenn Phillips' innings as well. I think these two and Surya's innings. So these three knocks were outstanding knocks of this World Cup for sure.
Yep. So it's always good to have a difference of opinion, which doesn't suggest that Joy didn't like Virat's knock or Zaheer didn't like Surya's knock. It's just that we're picking one for the moment that we feel is absolutely top of mind. From the batters, we move to the bowlers in terms of the best spells. There were so many. Ngidi, of course, stands out. Sikandar Raza, Shadab's key 2 wickets, Trent Bolt, Anrich Nokia. Zaheer, I'll come to you first on the bowlers.
I think Ngidi's spell against India was superb one. Surya was the lone ranger there, and he really put India's batting lineup under pressure by picking those wickets.
I'm going to make an unusual choice. Mine is Santner. He took his 3 wickets against Australia, and the reason is he was consistent throughout, but in the right conditions, getting Finch out, getting Stoinis out, getting those wickets at a time when they just didn't give the Australian team a chance to do anything. And I think it's reflective of the way Santner has bowled in this tournament.
Yep, they had the luxury and of the runs, but it didn't matter if you had that or not. You were expecting Australia to get a lot closer than they got in that opening fixture. And at the end, it probably cost them in terms of net run rate. All right, in terms of overall performance from the individuals, Zaheer, I'll start with you. Best bowler of the tournament in the Super 12 stage.
Best bowler of the tournament has to be Arshdeep. So as a youngster getting in the tournament and getting better and better, picking these wickets and really filling the shoes of Bumrah. I think he's doing Bumrah's job. That's why Rohit is not using him for that 3rd over in the power play. He's using Bhuvneshwar. He's keeping his 2 overs because he's specifically been part of this playing 11 with the additional responsibility of taking those back-end overs.
Bowler for you?
Sam Curran. It was between Hasaranga, Arshdeep and Sam Curran. I've just gone for Curran just because, again, his death bowling has been so outstanding, and even when he's not got anywhere, his variation he's given you wickets, he's given you variations, he's given you death bowling, he's given you economy, he's given you everything. I mean, what Surya has done with the bat, Sam Curran has done with the ball.
Yeah, the batters, the bowlers, but you cannot ignore the fielding. We've had some wonderful fielding efforts, but in terms of the fielders going and snaffling the catches, today we had one very key with Roelof van der Merwe, which probably really sealed the game for Netherlands. It changed everything in terms of bringing 2 teams back into the tournament from the dead. So that could be one contender, but I'm not going to influence anyone. Joy, I'm going to come to you first on this.
You took away everything I had to say. Van der Merwe, 2 reasons. Taking that catch against you've played for that country as well. So you played for South Africa and you've taken a very difficult catch. So 2 things about the catch. Degree of difficulty, running backwards is always difficult because your ball is behind your back. The second is this match situation. At that point, that wicket was crucial. It was Miller, I think, right?
Yep.
It was Miller, and that really changed the match for them. So the pressure, the time that, okay, if I take this catch, if I miss this catch, this match could be gone from my hands. I said this is the catch of the tournament for me so far.
Sun overhead as well, changed the tournament, changed the match for Netherlands, for South Africa, for Pakistan, for Bangladesh. One catch can make such an impact. Zaheer, are you still going with Roelof or do you have another contender?
I think Glenn Phillips. That fielding in the boundary line, that kind of a dive, that kind of a judgment to reach to the ball, it's always tough one. When you're fielding at point or mid wicket or in the circle, your reaction time, somehow your base is strong to just dive and you dive. But when you are fielding on the boundary line, the catch was nowhere in his reach. Judging that, timing your dive, I think that is something which you don't see often. So Glenn Phillips' catch has to be right up there.
The closest I've seen to it in recent times is Tim Seifert, not on a cricket field, taken him to a diving academy in the Caribbean and he was diving off the diving board pretty much like Glenn Phillips was doing on a cricket field. Much easier to do it when you're going into a body of water.
No, absolutely. Parallel to the ground, what Phillips, unbelievable athleticism. I mean, not just, I think one more catch he took, some of the fielding he's done, he's been absolutely amazing. What a tournament he's had.
Best among the rest, the teams that may not have made it but still have made enough of an impression for you in the tournament?
Ireland. very consistent. I think they got bright future ahead of them. Very soon they will be competing at this level with the intent which everyone will be concerned of.
I'll go the Netherlands just because of the way they finish. You know, sometimes smaller countries, when they close to victory, they suddenly lose it. They think, oh, we're so close, we're going to do it. They held their nerve against South Africa. They were calm, they held their nerve, they held their catches. Very rarely. They dropped one catch in the end, which was, at that point in time, the match was out of their contention. But they held their catches, they held their nerve. I think for me, it's the Netherlands. What a finish to the tournament they've had.
All right, we've saved the best for almost last, the best match of the tournament. We've had some crackers. It's been quite a tournament. And I'm not going to throw anything out there. I'm just going to go straight Zaheer Khan best match.
Has to be India-Pakistan. There's no doubt about it. You know, how many 28 to get of 8 deliveries with that kind of a pressure, the atmosphere. I think that match was the match of the tournament so far.
I mean, look, you can't argue against 93,000 people in the stands. The national anthem, Indian national anthem being played far, far away, and the kind of, and what a setup, 28 runs to get in 8 balls and you get it. It's just, I'm sorry, somebody, if you wrote a script like that for a Bollywood film, they said, this is too unrealistic. Thoda realistic kar do, yaar. It was amazing.
I must confess, it was a privilege to actually be there, 92,999 plus 1. Never expected anything even close to that to actually be present there. It was freezing, but nobody minded. I mean, you'd want to go and hide in the boxes. But the moment it started getting to that stage, the boxes were empty. Everyone was braving the cold to see just the heat of the battle at the end. Fabulous. Just to finish off, your World Cup final prediction. We're down to the last 4. Which 2 in the final and who wins?
Well, I think what everyone will be thinking of this point, you know, you got to just make this emotional choice. I think what bigger occasion than to see India-Pakistan play in the finals. You know, you remember the 2007 finals as well, and how it went. You know, when these two teams clash, it can't get bigger than that. So I think from that point of view, for all the cricket viewers, they must be hoping that, okay, if it's India-Pakistan, it's going to be another level. But I feel New Zealand, the kind of consistency which they've shown in the ICC tournaments and in this tournament as well, you know, I'm tilting, I'm confused there. India, obviously, you know, it's
go with the heart. Go with the heart.
So I think I think India Pakistan will be the biggest of the finals.
In 7 days, you think they can put in a few more seats at the MCG?
Yeah, and in the MCG, which already has enough seats. But when India-Zimbabwe sells out, then what can you say? India-Pakistan would sell out. I mean, they could have double the stadium capacity and it would sell out. But I'd go for India-New Zealand also because for me, there's a ghost of, 2007 people will think of. For me, the ghost of 2019 also hangs heavy. You know, that semi-final match, that run out, Dhoni run out, so there's lots of, there's lots of history there also we can make up. So I'm happy with an India-New Zealand.
Yeah, but either way, the common factor is that everyone agrees India in the final. Let New Zealand and Pakistan sort out their troubles in Sydney. We know what's going to happen in Adelaide, and it's all to play for on the 13th of November. Then it begs the question, gentlemen, is this the best T20 World Cup ever?
I think cricket-wise, you have to. You have to go with this World Cup being the even contest of bat and ball, and it just made the World Cup so interesting because of that. You've seen some upset as well. You've seen Zimbabwe beat Pakistan. You've seen Netherlands beat South Africa. You've seen West Indies didn't even qualify. So all these games put together, I think this was a very exciting World Cup. There was good contest between bat and ball, and some good competition as well from the teams which only feature in World Cups.
Yeah, it's been played in South Africa, in Sri Lanka, in Bangladesh, but just to have it in Australia, I think the evenness and the big grounds.
Exactly, I completely agree with you. It's the evenness of this contest, the evenness of the other teams, the non-test playing teams, the way they've played the game as well, the people who don't play regularly. It's been a very even tournament. I'd say that the only tournament which comes close is 2007, but the difference is I feel tactically 2022, 15 years of playing T20 cricket and understanding the format. In 2007, people were 50-over players trying to play 20-over cricket. Now they understand what can be done in 20 overs. Players like Surya Yadav, when Yuvraj Singh hit those 6 sixes, they were fantastic sixes, but he hit them cricketing shots the way they used to play in those days. Today, when you see what Surya has hit, this is a completely new game of cricket. I mean, what De Villiers and other people have done. So I think this is the best tournament we've seen.
Yeah, 2007 was quite a special finish, great atmosphere, but as Joy said, the game has evolved. So it was a start and finish in a sense of where T20 cricket is at. But we're not done yet. We just did a review of the Super 12 stage, and the reason why we did it is because this is what the teams were playing for, to be in that knockout stage. And the first of those two semi-finals is going to be New Zealand against Pakistan at the Sydney Cricket Ground. And this should be quite a game to look forward to. We would normally say it's only New Zealand who have been consistent, but Pakistan have been consistent in a different sense, Joy. We mentioned this a little bit earlier on the show. They've been in the semi-finals more than any other team in the history of this tournament. So that consistency, the comeback kings, and New Zealand, of course, consistency in terms of this tournament.
Absolutely. No, I think Pakistan has been an amazing, it's so much under the radar, the fact that 6 times out of 8 they've reached there. But this is a team, again, that win against South Africa has basically, that's the win that has really strengthened them, made them the team they are. And again, what we are saying, they've discovered their best combination. We were saying this before this match again today. I mean, forget about the totally meaningless change in batting order today, where they put Nawaz up front. But otherwise, if you look at it, Shan Masood at 3, or Mohammad Haris at 4, or you flip them around, and Haris coming at 3 and Shan Masood at 2, they just are giving you so much. And what's the beauty of it? Throughout, everyone's talking about the fact that the openers dominate for Pakistan, the others don't get much of a chance. This is the middle order. This tournament, whatever Pakistan has done, is for their middle order. The openers haven't given them anything. Even when they have scored runs, they haven't scored it at a rate that set up a match for them. It's their middle order that's done it for them. Iftikhar, Haris, Shan Masood, they've done it for them.
Yeah, their first 50 partnership came in that final game against Bangladesh, but it wasn't at a rate of knots. They weren't chasing too much, but it was the middle order again. Those cameos, again, it was Haris who came to the party. So Babar Azam, he hung in there for a 50 partnership, but we were thinking, is it his big day? It hasn't yet been his big day.
Look, when you're looking at this team, how they played against South Africa. South Africa had beaten India. So the momentum was with South Africa. They were playing really good cricket. But the way Pakistan team went in that game, I know that now they are in the semis, okay, from nowhere. You know what kind of energy they are going to bring to the ground. So no matter who they're playing against, I think they will be very upbeat. And you've seen in the past in cricket, when you suddenly get a lifeline, everything just comes together. That's the worry for New Zealand. So a Pakistan team going out there, knowing that okay, they've been nowhere and got that opportunity, they are going to be a different kind of a force to deal with. So from that point of view, New Zealand will be right now a bit concerned, even though they've been playing good cricket. No one would want to play a team like this, which suddenly has got a lifeline. Now suddenly pieces are falling into place. So I think that's the situation they are in right now. So Pakistan, you can't really take it lightly when they'll be playing the semis.
Yeah, I mean, all sorts of numbers. One of the scarier numbers also is the 142 runs they scored after losing 4 wickets. It's the highest in the history of the tournament. So just little achievements like that have just made them that dangerous, irrespective of the Babar story.
Yeah, absolutely. The analogy I'll give is that everyone's going home, and suddenly you smell there's a mutton biryani that's just been cooked. So everyone, the whole team has just rushed back, and they've given you everything they have. And yeah, I mean, they were handed a lifeline. They would have woken up this morning and wondered, wow, what is happening out here? And suddenly from there, then get that opportunity, then smash Bangladesh. I mean, they are obviously, mentally, they'll be much higher than New Zealand. New Zealand is a calm, consistent side who've played more often in these conditions. Perhaps that's their biggest strength, that, Pakistan's been a bit of a roller coaster. Can they hold their nerve?
Yeah, I mean, if you have a look at that, the one big name who hasn't quite got in there is Martin Guptill, but just didn't fit into that top order. So again, they seem settled, Zaheer, in terms of the combination. It's just that now they've got to do this against Pakistan's side, who are going to be unpredictable and having got that lifeline.
Yeah, they are a settled outfit. They are very consistent, and this one team plans very well. So whenever you play against New Zealand, you think that okay, you might have an easy game, but that's not the case because of their preparation. They're planning the matchups. Everything is going to come into play. I'm just very pleasantly surprised by the way Glenn Phillips have evolved in this World Cup. He always had that potential, but this World Cup has been a phenomenal one for him. For New Zealand also, he's against that game against Sri Lanka, where he actually bailed the team out. They were in trouble that time, so things could have gone either way. So you have the players of that quality also now in this New Zealand lineup. They plan well. You have a good bowling unit in Trent Bolt, Saudi. Lockie Ferguson adds that pace as well. Santner is someone who can always control the game. They've been using him as a good matchup against really good players of new ball as well, just to break that. So they've got all the resources to put things together. Devon Conway is someone who can really who can be a match winner. Who can really set the tone for your innings. So that is something which you can expect from him. So all in all, I think looking at the consistency and their track record in ICC tournaments, you would want this team to go ahead. It's just that they will be dealing with a force right now, which is very, very unpredictable that way. On any given day they can beat any opposition. So I think that's the planning part is going to be critical for New Zealand this game.
Yeah, I mean, he's been trying to push that door down for a long time for New Zealand. The good thing about Phillips is he actually sat outside that door and waited even though it was not opening, and he's added different dimensions to the game. A few people asking, is there a chance for Michael Bracewell? Maybe. Do you need that off-spinning option? Well, I have news for you. Glenn Phillips can bowl some off-spin.
Yeah, Glenn Phillips can do everything. He can keep, he can bowl off spin. He feels like a maniac. What can't he do? I mean, and that's it. Sometimes you feel it's your tournament and just he knows he's in the prime of his game. He's got that big innings up front. He's got that century. He's just there right now. So he, Finn Allen, now Kane Williamson's got a few runs. They're all now looking as if they're coming together as well. So while it's easy because the Pakistan story is a much more dramatic story, let's not forget that this New Zealand team has had a very good World Cup so far.
Yeah, Pakistan will have a huge support contingent, but if you look at neutrals around the world, including Michael Vaughan the other day on the show, he said, well, yeah, it's England, but if not England, New Zealand. I mean, they'd have to be everyone's sentimental favourite that way. Never won the tournament, always there and thereabouts, but just that trophy is what they need.
Yeah, and they have come very close in 2019 to lift that trophy. So they would want to change that. They've played the last finals as well. So that is something which they will be taking inspiration from. Have been very close, but have not lifted the trophy. So that is something is good enough motivation for this unit, and this unit is experienced as well. There are enough players when you look at this squad. They've been a regular feature in different T20 leagues. They've been playing this format regularly, and a lot of match winners. So that is something was never the case when you used to look at New Zealand. Now this team is planning well, is being consistent, but also have those impact players, those match winners in this playing 11.
Yeah, they've got quiet match winners also. Someone like a Daryl Mitchell, Kane Williamson, quiet even though he's a superstar. Turned up in the final even though they finished second best for a huge innings.
Yeah,
so it was two Kane Williamson innings, one a year ago in the final and two in the last match. Shows that, I mean, he's not a force to be counted out.
Yeah, that means that, look, what happens, when a lot of captains, when they're in a situation like that and they asked a question, what are you doing, you batted too slow, 40 or 40, he took responsibility. He said, yeah, I have not been batting so well, let me get on to it, I need to hit the ball a bit better, the elbow's been bothering me, so let me get out of it. So he took responsibility and he changed his innings. He batted in a different gear. It was very clear that he was not batting, he was taking more risks than he. Why won't Williamson score runs? It's only when he's not taking risks. Once he started taking the risks, it paid off. He's just that good a batsman. If he takes the risk, he might get out, but he'll always get runs for you.
Yeah, because remember, he was 15 off 15. And just when we were thinking, is it Kane Williamson of old all over again? 6 and a 4, suddenly strike rate changes and he's on his way. That's all it took. 1 stroke, 2 strokes. Took that for KL Rahul. Took that for so many players who have had a turnaround in this tournament. Well, a couple of players will be looking to put that right on in that first semi-final in Sydney. Babar Azam, certainly one of them. Mohammad Rizwan, probably another one. But it looks like it's set up for an absolutely mouth-watering clash, even before India rock up at the Adelaide Oval against England. Right? So, question to be answered from Joy. You posed it, it seems a long time ago. So let's remind everybody of the question and then get the answer for that.
Oh, I love this question. I scored 66 in my debut test innings, and I was the 5th highest scorer for my team in that innings. And who am I? And the answer, of course, is Mahela Jayawardene. Sri Lanka scored 952 for 6. So there was a 340, there was a 276, there was an 86, there was another century. There were so many other big innings before him, and of course, he went on to do many things. And the other thing is Nilesh Kulkarni. I think first ball of his innings, he gets a wicket, and it's a fantastic start. And then India is in the field for the next 2.5 days. Amazing.
I don't think Saurav remembers that match too fondly either. Did he get a duck?
I don't even think Saurabh wants to remember whether he got a duck or not. It didn't exist. That match is not in the records.
Yeah, that was a cracker of a question, actually. I mean, I probably didn't read it carefully enough to look at 66 being the 5th highest. 5th highest? 6th highest?
5th highest.
5th highest scorer. That's crazy. Now, who was the first highest in terms of getting to the answer? And our winner is, once again, he's back. Surya Sethia picks that up. We should have actually done it differently this time. We should have given it to the 5th person.
5th person. Because after scoring 66 on your debut, Gavaskar got 65 and 67. That was considered a great debut. You score 66, you think you'll get some attention. Wow, I've done well. And then somebody's just got 340. Nobody.
Yeah, I wonder how you do that actually. If we asked them to be the 5th fastest, they would wait. Time it maybe instead of 0.08 seconds, wait about 30 seconds and then give the answer. That would be fun. We'll try and do something like that interesting as we go forward. For now, we've completed the Super 12 stage. We know the lineups. It's India against England on Thursday at Adelaide. It's New Zealand against Pakistan at the Sydney Cricket Ground a day before on Wednesday. We'll of course be there. We look forward to seeing all of you. For now, just time to say thank you to Zaheer, to Joy, and thank you all for joining us once again. Cricbuzz Live will be back with so much cricket, so much conversation. We'll see you soon.